Welcome to Career Practitioner Conversations. This podcast is presented by the National Career Development Association. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Melissa Venable, NCDA's Director of Professional Development, and this episode is brought to you by the NCDA Technology Committee. I'm here with Dr. Erik Hines and Angie Thompson, and they are the current committee co-chairs. Thank you both for your commitment and service to the association. I have had the pleasure to work with each of you on different kinds of projects, and I am excited to hear about what the Technology Committee is doing. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
Thank you, Melissa. Well, my name is Angie Thompson, and I am the Assistant Director of AI Education and Student Engagement at the University of Montana. And I'm also a career coach, and I teach some federal courses here. And I've been with the Tech Committee since 2023.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. My name is Erik Hines, and I am the co-chair of the Technology Committee since April 2025. I actually joined in spring 2024, and I am a professor at George Mason University. I teach career development courses, and my research looks at the career development and educational outcomes of Black men and boys. And I also have a school counseling background. So with that being said, I want to start us off with a conversation and ask Angie, why did she decide to get into the tech committee?
Honestly, I kind of stumbled upon it. I came to NCDA's conference for the first time in 2023. It was in Chicago. I didn't know a soul. And so I get there and I actually ran into somebody from the committee. It was Kathy Beatty Freeman. She was just super kind, super welcoming. And I was just kind of checking out groups. So she asked for my email and she sent me a link when we came back. So I joined it to kind of figure out what the tech committee was about. And I thought I was trialing it, but I found out I was a member that day. So it was great because I was kind of like, oh, is this going to be a big commitment? What am I going to do? I ended up meeting so many fun and interesting people, connecting with Dr. Janet Wall, and we decided to co-present the next year. So we worked together remotely across the nation. And that was awesome because we finally met in person when NCDA was in San Diego in 2024. So it was at that point that I went to another tech committee meeting, and Janet actually kind of volunteered me to be one of the co-chair of the committee, and that's kind of how that evolved. But before we get further into the committee, I was just wondering what sparked your interest in technology and career development in general?
Well, as I said earlier, I teach the career development courses here at George Mason, where we train our pre-service counselors. And for me, training them on how to use technology ethically and appropriately, as well as, using technology in their counseling skill sets, particularly when we talk about artificial intelligence. I know we'll talk about that a little later on. One of the things that has always interested me about career development, and this was even when I was in community college, is really how do we help young people, and for me, help students find their purpose or their calling, and that's through work, through a career, through the use of their gifts and talents. So now that we use more technology, part of what I wanted to do was how do I contribute back to NCDA? And I thought being on the technology committee would be helpful. So the funny part about this is when I came to the first meeting, I was at another conference, the American Educational Research Association conference. So this is how bad I wanted to join the meeting. When I reached out to you all, I was sitting in my hotel and logged on right before I had to go to another presentation. So that was in April 2024. And then fast forward a year later, in spring, April 2025, I get this email from Angie like, Erik, have you ever considered being a co-chair? You've been to the meetings for a year. I was like, oh, I don't think I've been here long enough to help facilitate our great committee. Oh, that's fine. So Angie and I, we had a great conversation. A lot of the things we're interested in, we were aligned, especially we call her affectionately the AI guru in career development. And so we talked about those things. And I talked about the emerging technologies and kind of how I wanted to incorporate that, not only with our students, but, with Black kids in my research. And we just hit it off from there. So that's how I just decided to really want to be involved and get immersed into the technology committee. And there's so many great things that are coming out. And then, technology is always changing. So every time I turn around, Angie, Erik, look, I look at this, look at that. So she keeps me on my toes with that. And then the other activities we do. So speaking of AI, Angie, I know that's something we've been focusing on here in the technology committee. Can you talk a little bit about it and the impacts on career development, and how do we get in front of it rather than being afraid of it?
Absolutely. And I do remember you joining from the hotel room. So that's actually
Yes.
so yes, AI is seriously, it's everywhere. So I think getting ahead of it, learning about it,
Mhm.
researching it, and not being afraid of it, it's just the more we use it as a tool, the more creative we become, the more we realize we can help it help others. So I feel like, make yourself known and essential in this field so that
Mhm.
you're getting in, you're diving in, you're not shying away from it. We don't want to view
Mhm.
something as being maybe evil or too scary. We want to make ourselves relevant and aware of these tools and making the most of them. So,
Mhm.
creating custom GPTs, making sure that we're reaching niche, I don't know, majors or different populations, or meeting with the experts and they can fill in all the blanks and fill these things in so that we can use these tools so that we're really tailoring them to every person that we're meeting with. So I think
Mhm.
we can use these AI resources responsibly, and we can help people be successful
Mhm.
because they still
Mhm.
need guided direction. They
Mhm.
have access to these tools, but they don't know how to use them ethically or responsibly a lot of times. So we're
Mhm.
serving as kind of that foundation, and
Mhm.
we just need to know how to keep that balance of that human-centered, human-focused, and still being able to know, how to use these tools the most effectively.
Mhm. And
Um,
with that being said, tell me, tell us rather, what do you think makes this committee unique compared to others in NCDA? You talked a little bit about AI, but what are some of the other things that make us stand out as a technology committee?
I really feel like this committee kind of feels like family. Even just like when I
Mhm.
first met you, it felt like we went way back. And I feel that way about a lot of the members. Like it's just like this connection
Mhm.
of we connect, we mentor each other, we reach across time zones, we reach across the world really, and we collaborate.
Mhm.
So it's not just awesome to hear about these different platforms and different perspectives, but we're
Mhm.
helping each other. None of us really
Mhm.
know how to like navigate what's happening because it's happening
Mhm.
so quickly. So I feel like
Mhm.
this provides a safe place. And I think we really believe in each other. I think we really want people to be successful. It goes beyond tech, you know? And then with that rapid evolution of I think we're also at a loss sometimes. So this kind of helps serve as a support group that we're able to lean on each other as we navigate this territory together. So it's a lot of different ideas, a lot of different people, and
Mhm.
creativity and innovation working together as a group to kind of better understand this new world that we're in, this new technology, how to best utilize it, how to relate to it, and then how to figure out how to implement it effectively, ethically, and just be there for one another. So I feel like that makes us really unique in that we're really
Mhm.
encouraging one another, lifting each other up, and it goes beyond the mission of just tech. It becomes kind of like this, yeah, support family or something.
Mhm. The one thing I definitely appreciate with our committee too is that we create a space where everybody can talk about what they're doing at their institution or where they work. What type of technology are you using? And then the other piece, which I love, which I definitely appreciate you doing, providing the demonstrations. Like you could walk through, hey, you could use it like this, or this is an example how it could be applied in your setting. And I think our committee is more interactive and more engaging in that way because everybody has a voice and everybody has something valuable to bring to the table, which I think definitely makes our technology committee unique as opposed to just having a meeting and just going through an agenda and saying, all right, any questions, and then adjourning. It's really very interactive, and you have to participate on some levels.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a great thing. It's resourceful. Like you're leaving
Yes,
walls. And so,
yes,
I do think it's not just a waste of time. It's not just a space filler. I think we're getting in there. We're really hoping to leave with something tangible, and hopefully we do
yes.
this time. So, yeah, I think it's great committee because we're there for each other. It's also a great resource because we are learning,
Hmm.
taking those things and
Hmm.
able to kind of like streamline our workflow with it. So,
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's awesome. And you're doing such a great job. You're bringing in all these guest speakers. You're doing all these great things. And so, you know,
Hmm.
every time you have an idea, it just like comes to fruition. And I've just admired that so much this whole journey.
We all leveled up. So speaking of leveling up here, I know you took the lead on us recently publishing an article on AI in the NCDA Career Developments magazine. Can you talk a little bit about how do you see AI shaping career services in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had a crystal ball. I know that a lot of people are really afraid because they're like, oh, it's going to take our
Mhm.
jobs or it's going to. And again, I feel like we have to move from fear to fluency to agency,
Mm. Mm.
really making sure to keep ourselves relevant, understanding that we still have that intuition and we have facts and we can utilize this better than others if we stay on top of it. So pressing in, stressing the importance of that human-centered advising, but honestly, being successful. So finding areas where there's gaps and utilizing these resources to fill those areas. So the example in the article for me was creating custom GPTs to serve military veteran populations. And I mean, that keeps evolving across campus. So I've been leading, workshops across campus, teaching faculty and staff, and they've been developing faculty facing custom GPTs. It's just exploded in ways that it's connecting people, faculty and staff, and people that are like from the president to, I mean, it's just been really on campus. Something that I feel like has been helpful so that we are able to reach a lot of different communities that we couldn't before. We're
Mhm.
able to
Mhm.
connect them with the resources that are going to best help them. And
Mhm.
so I just think it's helping to streamline our workflow. It's helping to promote equity. It's helping to advocate for others. It's the
Mhm.
direction I think we have to take is using these tools and not thinking of them as weapons maybe for evil, but thinking of like, what's a new way we can incorporate this into our practices
Mhm.
and then how can we reach people and then how can we also establish guardrails with it and education and develop ethical applications because we want to be part of the process to help shape the future of this technology and not just let it dictate our path or our profession.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So thank you for asking that. Oh, speaking of technology, I feel like a lot of times tech can be pretty intimidating and it's rapidly evolving. So if I'm somebody who's listening to this right now and I feel intimidated because it's called the NCDA Tech Committee, why would I want to join this committee?
Well, a few things. I think number one, you spoke to it early. It is a community space where we're all learning about technology together. I can use my personal experience. So I've, in the past, one of the other things that interests me in technology is I was able to create a fully online school counseling program at my previous institution. And doing that got me interested in, okay, well, if we're going to use online platforms to train pre-service counselors, what other technology do I need to use to continue to engage them so that they can get the quality of work ethically and professionally as if they would being in an in-person counseling program? So here we talk about the same exact things. How do we, in this case, how do we make sure we're using artificial intelligence in an ethical manner, as you said earlier, but also professionally, and then using it to help us do our jobs more effectively and efficiently? So when I came in, artificial intelligence was very new to me. Yes. Have I heard of it? Yes. And then even here at George Mason, our president, President Gregory Washington, he is on the forefront of how we can use artificial intelligence, not only in our local community here in the Washington, D.C. area, but how do we use it in industry, education, How do we use it in healthcare? In fact, he appointed an inaugural vice president and chief AI officer for our campus who is in charge of that. So with that being said, here we're doing some of the same exact things. How do we use it in the different spaces that we hit? And it's okay. And that's part of the demonstrations, right? So if you don't know how to use it or you're just finding out about it, you can see an on the spot application or on the spot demonstration here. And one of the things I do like about it too, that we do give homework. I got to give a shout out to Janet Wall here. She'll come out. Hey, we got this committee here, the AI task force. Take a look at that, the information that will help you use AI in a way that will guide you to be successful in the use of it. So, in one word, join our community, learning, gaining experience. And then when we go to Minneapolis this year for the NCDA conference, I want to plug that. I make sure you attend. We will have an in-person meeting where we are still talking about the technology and then even talking about how how the conversations were going at the conference and the different presentations. So it's just a chance to get together and make sure that we can advance our way and use the technology to make career development better. How do we make career development one of those frontiers that will continue to think forward, will continue to move the envelope in our profession so that we will still be around for years to come?
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay.
What are some of the ways that members can get involved, whether big or small? And Angie, you could talk about this from an historical perspective.
Honestly, getting involved, the first step is just coming to the meetings because that's where you're going to meet people. That's where you're going to find out what your niche is, what you like, what you think you might want to get involved in. We always have the opportunity to present. So yeah, you could go to Minneapolis and you could be on a panel discussion. So you don't have to present by yourself. You could present individually. But I also think there's smaller things you can do that have to do with connecting with others. It's so awesome to be in contact with Erik, who's all the way right outside of DC, and I'm all the way in Missoula, Montana, figuring out kind of what problems is he facing or that area facing, learning more about that, learning more about the nation, the world, people across the world, what they're dealing with. It really allows us to be able to see, do I want to work with that person? Maybe I want to be mentored under that person, or maybe I want to mentor someone. So that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
what happened. I felt like with me when Janet reached out, it was like all of a sudden I had this partner that was willing to work with me that had all this wealth of knowledge, was able to like kind of share so much information. I didn't know anything about the committee. And it was just eye-opening because for me, I feel kind of isolated. I'm sure other people might feel isolated or maybe inundated just in their area. And it's great to get out and get to see people, get to meet them, get to know you're contributing. So you can give demos during our tech committees. You could just talk about what you're using. You could, like I said, mentor someone or be mentored by someone. You could get guest speakers to come and speak for the committee. You could just come to the meeting. So if you don't have a whole lot of time, but you really want to, just bounce off ideas and learn from others or give a brief testimonial, we encourage all of that. There's no like, sign this document that you're going to pledge hours and hours to us. So we appreciate any sort of involvement and, you can get involved in so many ways. So definitely come and check us out. And I honestly am excited about everything that's taking place. I feel like this has been much more exciting this year. And honestly, again, that's because of Erik. So I'm so excited. So Erik, where do you see the tech committee going within the next year? And what's the big vision?
Well, I think for us, and we talked about it earlier, part of it was how do we have more engagement, right? That is more of our bigger. How do we bring in more of our NCDA members who want to be involved in the technology committee, whether it is in a committee meeting or even on the peripheral? Hey, I just want to send you some emails. These are some ideas that we're thinking about. Oh, this is new technology that is emerging. Can you all talk about it, or can we think about policy and guidelines that will continue to guide us ethically. The other piece, and I thought about this too, is, continue to bring in more speakers outside of NCDA or in other fields who can actually give us more insight on to what is happening with technology, say in healthcare, in education. We can even say construction. We talked about AI and automobiles the other day. And so I think that help informs us as a technology committee of how do we best utilize this for career development and ultimately for our members in NCDA so that they can be as informed as possible around technology and the career space. That's what I see in the bigger vision outside of us. We were talking about creating our own little notebooks and podcasts, making sure that our members continue to walk away with tangibles.
The way that you're explaining and the way that you're bringing this together is like the tech committee could become this kind of hub where members across the world are coming together for that. The support
Yes.
tutorials, experimentations, growing
Yes.
together, those hands-on demos, those practical resources.
Yes.
It's a place where people are feeling safe to ask questions, to try new tech,
Yes.
to learn from experts. But also, it's because it's so vast, there's people that are concerned about environmental issues, other
Yes.
issues, like wanting to learn about the cars, wanting to learn about different industries. And so,
Yes.
like this wide array where I just feel like it's such a good team, or we're just learning every time we
Yes.
walk away like, whoa, okay, that was awesome. So,
Yes. Yes. And although we said, okay, we'll bring in experts, but we learn from each other. I
yeah.
mean, there are things that I even walk away with. Okay, wow, I could use this in my class. I can train our pre-service clinical counselors and our school counselors that, hey, this is something that you might want to use in your community setting or your school setting. So it's really about a think, pair, share approach when it comes to technology, because at the end of the day, it's rapidly changing. And if we don't stay on top of it, we could get left behind in terms of the field. So, Angie, question. So if somebody's on the fence about getting involved, like, I don't know about this technology stuff, or are they going to ask me to do something? How would you encourage them to get involved anyway?
Well, man, if you're interested in just learning from other people, if you just want to meet new people, I would say get involved and check it out and see what it's about. We have people joining from all over the world. So it's not just like, oh, these are three
Mhm.
people, they've known each other their whole lives. No, like some of us, I mean,
Mhm.
I've never met Erik in person and it feels like I have, but it's like, that's crazy. So these are real connections that we're making. It's a real supportive group. It's going to broaden your circle. It's going to broaden your
Mhm.
connections and your knowledge. You're going to learn about what's going on across the world. And this technology is not something that's avoidable. So this is something that's infiltrating in every aspect of our life. You do not have to be a tech expert to want to understand things, to want to learn more.
Mhm.
So I would just encourage you to check it out and join because it might surprise you. I think that if our listeners could take away just one thing about this committee, Erik, what would you want that to be?
If you could take anything from this committee, is that you will walk away with a resource, you'll walk away with more knowledge, skills, and you will be able to use them in your professional setting. I also think too, and I share the same sentiments as Angie. You will walk away with colleagues and friends that you have similar interests with, as Angie said earlier. And that's the beauty of technology, pun intended, right? That we're able to talk and expand our social networks around technology. And we talk about things as if we live next door to each other in the workspace. So coming here, you said it eloquently earlier. Yes, it's about the profession, but the profession has also created a community for us. And the community is revolving around how do we best use technology in a world that is rapidly and continually changing daily.
Yeah, it's a space where curiosity matters more than
Mm-hmm.
expertise. So come
Mm-hmm.
curious, come ready
Mm-hmm.
to share. We're just excited
Mm-hmm.
to know you as we are
Mm-hmm.
excited find out what you're interested in and to learn about tech together. So appreciate it.
And if you want more information, feel free to reach out to us. I'll give you my Erik Hines, ehines5@gmu.edu. Angie will give you her email. We're always open to questions. And if you want to join, I know Angie has a quick finger. She'll add you to that list. The next thing you know, you'll be at the meeting.
Oh, thank you so much, Erik. It's so awesome to work
Oh,
with you.
thank you.
Awesome to be on this tech committee with you and share these experiences. So thank you for making this happen.
Yes, and to our listeners, please reach out to us. Angie, if you would give us your email, because we would love to hear from you. And again, we want to promote the technology committee, so come and join us.
Yeah, and it's angie.thompson@mso.umt.edu. It's a little hard to remember, but I think on the website there should be some follow-up information as well. And I think we're both on the website too.
Yes, we look forward to hearing from you. So again, reach out to us and please have a wonderful day.
Appreciate you.
Thanks again, Erik and Angie from NCDA's Technology Committee. You can find out more about them and their contact information in our episode show notes. And we'll also have a link there for you to find out more about all of NCDA's committees and how you can get involved. So thanks again, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.